And I was really, really shocked at how bad my lean muscle mass was. And I was like, oh, crikey, I'm getting older. I need to make a change.
Interesting.
So
how bad's bad?
Bad, really bad. Yeah, I can't remember what my actual lean muscle mass was, but the daily calories that I was allowed to take was 1,100 per day, which is significantly less than what I was on.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to manage to do that? I'm going to starve. But I didn't, and I actually eat more now with a lower calorie, and I'm actually in deficit every single week, even on that low calorie amount.
Welcome to Real People, Real Results, Real Change, the podcast that's dedicated to helping real people develop real health and fitness in their lives. Real people like you, business owners, professionals, house husbands and housewives, and students. I'm Stefan, I'm a personal wellness coach at YouFit Studio, and I'll be your host. Today I'm talking again with Ruth Bentley. Ruth Bentley is an HR business manager, but she's also on a personal fitness and weight loss journey. And we're talking today specifically because she has made dramatic progress on her fitness journey. And we're going to be talking about the specific detail and things she's been doing that have facilitated this significant progress in recent months. Ruth, I'm so pleased to be talking to you again today. Obviously, we talked before a while back, and a lot has changed.
A huge amount has changed.
And so what I'd love to do is just dig into that massively and get a real sense of what has changed, where that's taken you, how you've done that, things you're learning from that, and hopefully we can share that with listeners and maybe inspire some people to do something similar, because like we were talking before, right, that sometimes everyone's different and we all have something that sparks us to turn a corner.
Yeah. and
make some massive progress, but it's so individual. So put me in the picture. What was that for you, and like what was going on back then?
Well, I joined the another challenge, and it was slightly different the way Sam set it out this time. And he basically calculated your lean muscle mass and then gave you a calorie allowance that you could have per day. And if you stuck to that, then you're almost guaranteed to lose weight, I suppose. I mean, there's no guarantee, but that was the idea behind it.
Uh-huh.
And I was really, really shocked at how bad my lean muscle mass was. And I was like, oh crikey, I'm getting older. I need to make a change.
Interesting.
So
how bad's bad?
Bad, really bad. Yeah, I can't remember what my actual lean muscle mass was, but the daily calories that I was allowed to take was 1,100 per day, which is significantly less than what I was on.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to manage to do that? I'm going to starve. But I didn't, and I actually eat more now with a lower calorie, and I'm actually in deficit every single week, even on that low calorie amount.
Okay, so that sounds amazing, and I can imagine lots of people going like, how is that even possible? So okay, I interrupted you. Rewind a little bit.
It's fine.
So tell me how, right back at the start,
Yeah.
What was starting to change? What were you doing?
Well, I was finding that I wasn't losing weight. I was trying to change my portion sizes. Nothing was really working. I was getting despondent. I tried to be really good, and then just felt I was getting bigger and bigger with no kind of... I wasn't enjoying my food. I wasn't really enjoying much at all, because I was sluggish, I was tired, and getting to the age whereby you've got to start thinking about perimenopause and how you're going to be when you get even older. I didn't want to be going into that phase of my life completely up against it. Yeah. So I thought, I've got to do something. I'll do this last challenge, see how I get on, see if I can change something, see if something different will work for me.
And it has.
And it has.
So,
it has.
So what happened?
Well, the things that I did this time that I haven't done before is I've done a meal plan every week. And it's been really, really helpful having Danny's recipes. She makes the most amazing food, and it's all calorie counted for me, because I don't get on with my my fitness pal. I'm quite lazy, I suppose, because things are so busy. I wanted something easy, and this was really easy.
Yeah.
There were great meals. I could plan them on a Sunday. I've got a paper copy of what I do, which I uploaded to the challenge page every day. So I could actually track, because when I started putting my calories in, first of all, I was like, oh, if I have that and that takes me way over. Let me just adjust this. So I was making tweaks on paper so I could see how many calories I was actually having, what food I needed for the day.
Yep.
And if I had like a bigger lunch, I would amend my calories, choose a meal that had a lower calorie content for dinner. So I kind of worked like that for the first few weeks.
But this is pre-planning?
This is, yes. Yeah, I didn't do any planning beforehand. And now, you know, from that day when Sam said, right, first challenge is do your food plan for the week. So I did, because it's scary sometimes. And we got a great booklet, because I do everything hard copy as well. I'm a bit of a technophobe. And I could see all the meals, and I was like, oh, I quite fancy that. They're quite easy to make. Let's start simply, do some repeat meals, so I've got some stuff prepped. And it just snowballed from there, really.
So how does this work week to week then? Like what's...
So every Sunday I write my meal plan for the next week. I've usually got some prepped meals, so I kind of pull them over. I'll know if I'm going into work or I need to take a packed lunch with me, so they'll be the meals that I can just stick in the fridge the night before and whip out the next day. So I have a look at what I'm doing, so I'm much more planned in my work time as well, because I have to plan my food around it, and it's just become second nature now.
Okay. So this is happening on Sunday?
Yes.
How long does this take? How long does it take to do that?
To be honest, it doesn't take long at all now. It's literally a 5-10 minute job in front of the telly. You know, what shall I have today? I set myself a quiet time when the kids have gone, and I'll work out what I fancy for the next week, and you know, what am I going to be doing? When am I going to be training? When can I allow myself to have, you know, a few more calories? Am I going out that week? Do I need to plan in for a splurge? And do I need to lower my calories on different days so that I can have that glass of wine, I can have brunch with friends? It's all factored in. It's made life so much easier.
And it doesn't sound like you're missing out particularly.
I'm not, no.
Okay, so tell me about the food then. Tell me about the meals, and also kind of how you're prepping. And you mentioned about like creating like extra portions or something, or like
the menu allows you to make 4 portions, and then you can double it. So for example, I do a slow cooked chicken, so I'll make 10 portions of that, and I'll batch it up. And then I've got, loads of slow-cooked chicken in the freezer for when I want it. Another favourite is chili nachos, which is amazing. Again, it makes 4 portions. You can keep it in the fridge, alternate that with my slow chicken, then I've got my meals for the week. And another favourite, which kind of repeats over and over again on my food planner, which is dead easy to make, is a shove in the oven. It's a chorizo and potato tray bake. Again, another one of Danny's recipes. Everybody loves it. It is so nice, and just stick some fresh broccoli with it, and it's so easy. I'm spending less time in the kitchen, less time cooking, and I am trying new recipes because I'm getting into a bit of a habit of sticking to my old favourites.
Right, yeah.
So I am trying to introduce new recipes each week just to give myself a little bit of variety.
And then what do these... So it's like, sounds amazing, right? You've got nachos and all sorts in there, but what's the makeup of the kind of meals that you're eating?
So, for example, the chili nachos, so you'll have your ground beef, which will be your 5% or your 3% you can now get. There'll be loads of veg in there, such as courgettes, peppers, onions, and it's all weighed. You have to weigh it out, and it's very simple, though. It's not an onerous, oh my God, I've got to weigh absolutely everything. It's really, really simple. Okay. And then I think it's 30 grams of nachos that you have with it, which is more than enough, with some salad on the side.
Yeah.
So it's really quick and easy and balanced.
And is that kind of is that how it is with all the meals? Is it very kind of similar?
Really simple to cook them.
Yeah.
And I do them from memory now. I mean, the chorizo tray bake is 1 chorizo ring chopped up, 400 grams, I think, of potatoes. I know the recipe off by heart now. An onion, a pepper, another pepper, some stock. Shove it in the oven and then put some creme fraiche on it when it comes out.
Simple, but...
Yeah, and some broccoli on the side.
Okay.
Perfect.
And so do you feel like the meals you're eating, do you feel like you're missing out? Are they flavourful? Are they, like, what's kind of the balance of things?
They are so flavourful. I mean, I always add extra chilli and garlic to everything anyway, so because I like things spicy.
Yeah, good move.
But I did actually. It's quite interesting. I fancied pizza the other night, so I looked at what I got in the freezer, and the kids like these calzone pizzas.
Yeah.
And I looked at the calories, and I was like, oh, I could have that. Put it in the oven. Came out, because I can remember having it like months and months ago when we were away, thinking, oh, this will be really nice. Most of it went in the bin. It's almost like my palate's changed, and anything that's not fresh or is greasy, I can't tolerate it as, as well. So I think my tastes have changed, and I'm used to having good, home-cooked, proper food now.
Yeah. So how's this working? Like, what are the benefits that you're noticing from these changes?
I suppose the obvious benefit is the huge weight loss since October time. I've lost quite a lot of weight. I'm back into the clothes that I wore pre-COVID. Okay. So I've got another 15 kg to lose to get back into the healthy weight, according to Sam. So yeah, huge progress. And my training is much better. My injuries are less. Because obviously less pressure on your joints, etc.
Right.
I just feel a lot better.
Yeah, sounds like a win-win.
It is a win-win, yeah.
And any particular kind of like challenges or obstacles or things that are tougher?
I think that, there've been a few challenges along the way. I mean, we had the Christmas party, which I factored in. We had Christmas, I factored that in. And I managed to maintain my weight over those periods. So I was, going in the right direction. And, you've got, your life gets in the way, doesn't it? And you can't not go to that party, or you can't not do that celebration. But it's being mindful about what you have and maybe limiting it a little bit, so that you're not going to excess, because you're going to feel rubbish the next day anyway. Yeah. But for example, at the Christmas party, I ate what they put in front of me. I didn't have dessert. I didn't have as much to drink as I probably would have done the previous year. And yes, we had a full English the next day. Right. But it was factored in. So my calorie intake over the week accommodated for that splurge and, good weekend. Okay,
so you find it's possible to be flexible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what, I don't know, what clicked for you that kind of enabled you? Because you've been trying to find the right thing for a long time, haven't you? Yeah. And with some success, but not where you'd want it to be, not that sort of consistent success, especially since lockdown, like things that's kind of messed things up and put, set you back, I guess. Yeah,
I think for me it was the calorie counting and the meal planning. Because before I had an awareness of, this is relatively healthy and this is relatively healthy, so they're fine for my meals. But it's only when I started looking at the calories, I'm like, ooh, that combination is going to take me way over. I maybe need to think of an alternative. So having it, I suppose, spotlighted for me, and the recipes are so lovely and they're so easy and they're so quick and it saves me so much time that it's just made it really, really easy.
So I guess that's quite a key thing probably, is it? Like that ease.
And the accountability as well during the challenge. I posted every day what I was doing, whether I'd trained, how many steps I'd done, how much water I drank, just so that, I could say, look, I've done everything. This is or isn't working. Yeah. And Sam challenged me to carry that on, which really pushed me out of my comfort zone. So it is now on the main group every evening. So apologies, guys. But
and this is Facebook Insider Group.
Facebook Insider Group, yes.
With a lot of people reading.
A lot of people reading. And it's been amazing going into the gym, and people have said to me, "Oh, thank you for posting, that's really inspiring." I was like, "Oh, thank God." I don't want to annoy anyone. So yeah, it's been really, really lovely knowing that I am helping other people with, what I'm posting each evening.
Yeah. So push us back on this if you don't kind of think so. But do you think that stepping out of your comfort zone has helped as part of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just made it more tough?
Yeah, because it's become a routine now for me, and yes, it was really tough at the time because it's not something like, this is really tough. I don't like doing anything like this, but
you couldn't tell.
So yes, it was horrific at the time, and I thought, crikey, what if people think I'm showing off, or they're not supportive, or they think, oh, what's that idiot doing, posting her photos every night? It's the same food. And so there were loads and loads of worries and panics going on, and Sam was like, just do it. And so I was like, right, okay, I'll do it. But it's had so many benefits. I'm talking to more people in the gym. I've got people coming up to me, talking to me, and it's really, really lovely, and that's driving me forward as well. It's really keeping me accountable.
Amazing.
So yes, I haven't missed a single night, and I'll still post when I'm away.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad food, you'll see it.
That's interesting. So there's a real honesty there as well. Then, like, you're holding yourself accountable in that way now.
Yeah, and if I have anything extra, I put it on my plan so people can see how it's adapted. So if, for example, I can remember some of my splurges. I think I really fancied chocolate one day, so I had a Kit Kat because the kids had left one, so I thought that'll do. But I took a photo of it and I put it on my chart.
Yeah.
So that I can see whether that's taken me over, whether or not I need to rein it back the next day, or whether or not, oh no, that's okay, that's well within my calorie range.
Yeah, you really have got this down, haven't you?
I'm actually really enjoying it. It's really challenging, but it's easy as well. It's become easy, should I say.
So if someone was listening to this and they may or may not have a coach and that sort of community of support, but what would you advise as a first step, or what are some of the lessons you've learned that would help someone who is kind of knows they need to do something, they want to make a change, they want to either looking at weight loss or, improve their fitness or their health, and want something that isn't just, another diet, another yo-yo, lose some, then put it back on sort of thing, something that's more sustainable but is easy to do. Like, what would your advice be? What would you be saying to them?
I think don't try everything at once. Look at what you're doing that's working really well for you. So, for example, I brought in different things at different times. So I've brought in meditation, which is now a routine and doesn't change. I've brought in my meal planning, which doesn't change. I've brought in my food shop, which doesn't change now. So they're all things that I've brought in and added to what I've been doing. And I think if I tried to do all of it at once, I'd fail. Yeah. But also, when I was in a not great place, I was told all the time, oh, you're just doing another diet, this one's going to fail again. So I was always being told I'd fail.
Right, yes.
So I think you've got to have belief in yourself as well. And if you do feel like you've failed, it's not a failure, it's a learning. And you think, right, okay, what am I going to do differently? What can I change? And I've tweaked what I've done over quite a long period of time to get something that works for me. Yeah. So, and that now all that negative doubt and talk that's just background noise now. That doesn't affect me. It's like, right, this is what I'm doing. I've got the support from people who are saying, yeah, go Ruth, good for you, it's brilliant. And I'm in a good place now with it. And yeah, that's it.
That's amazing, well done. It's an absolute inspiration. And any final words for today? Like, I'm sure we could kind of do this again and catch up, in a few more months, and with probably more lessons to learn and
I'm sure there is, yes.
Yes. But also more progress as well.
Yeah.
But any kind of final words to sort of people listening?
Every day's a new day. If you feel you've fallen off the wagon today, for example, That's one day. Just don't let it go on to tomorrow. You know, rein it back tomorrow. A few extra calories today isn't going to change, but if you let it go day on day on day, which is what I did, you've got a huge uphill battle to try and get yourself back on track. And I've had a huge amount of support, and I'm not sure I could have done it on my own. So, yeah, day at a time. Nail that day. Don't think too far into the future.
Amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much, Ruth.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure, and
Thank you.
hopefully we'll speak again soon.